Rode is back at it again with another RØDECaster product. This time though, we're not just talking about audio. Introducing the RØDECaster Video. This is a truly unique take on the very idea of a video switcher. It features a streamlined design, making it easier than ever for creatives of all kinds to dive headfirst into multicam live productions. However, despite its easy-to-use nature, the RØDECaster Video packs a mean punch in its feature set. Established podcasters, streamers, live event producers, and content creators can all find something to love in this device. It features the standard set of HDMI inputs and outputs, 2 combo jacks for audio, and an RJ45 Ethernet connection for streaming directly off the device. On top of all that, it uniquely features 2 USB-C inputs for either UVC-capable cameras or USB microphones. Now, where it really comes to life though is in its ability to generate amazing looking scenes on the fly that would typically require a good amount of time and effort and possibly a third-party compositing software. There's so much more to this switcher that I'm excited to dive into, so we're taking this out to a podcasting space and we're going to see what it's all about. First though, let's take a look around the unit and see what we're working with. Now, when you typically look at a video switcher for the first time, it's not uncommon to get overwhelmed by the amount of controls that you have on hand. This naturally creates a steep learning curve for folks who want to start creating live content. Now, the RØDECaster Video is a different story though. On its face, the button layout is streamlined, and Rode has done a lot here to present a much cleaner, simpler arrangement, which we'll explore later on. Now, unlike the typical preview and program setup, you have 2 rows of buttons for switching between cameras, scenes, and onboard media. Next to that, you have 4 buttons that will allow us to pull onboard media, turn on overlays, create picture-in-picture scenes, and turn on Chroma Key. The unit has a touchscreen display and a navigation dial just above that for adjusting the settings on the device. This is also where all of the unit's audio sources are controlled. You aren't solely dependent on the display for adjusting the unit's various settings though. When you connect it to a computer, the entire unit can be controlled via the Rode Central software. On the right side of the face, you have your cut and auto buttons for transitioning shots. Just above those, you have the inspect button, which is unique to the RØDECaster Video. And I'm going to go into a little bit more about how this works later on, but in short, it puts the switcher into a sort of safe mode so you can reconfigure sources, get detailed information about your various inputs, and so on. Moving to the back where you'll find all of the I/O this switcher offers, starting with the combo jacks I mentioned previously. You also have a set of audio outputs for headphones and monitors. Additionally, there is a receiver for up to 2 Rode Wireless Go 2 microphones built directly into the RØDECaster Video. You have 4 HDMI inputs and 2 individually configurable HDMI outputs. You can choose to output either the program, preview, or multi-view out of either of them. As far as feeding video into the unit, you can do up to a 1080p 60 FPS video signal. Moving right along, you have 5 USB Type-C ports. The first 3 are for connecting computer and control, and an SSD for saving the recording. The last 2 are those USB inputs for connecting either a UVC camera or a USB microphone, and that may be one of the most unique features on this device. Last but not least, you have the RJ45 Ethernet port for device control and streaming. With all of that being said, let's get this show on the road. We're taking the RØDECaster Video out to a podcasting space in Manhattan to see how well it performs. Now, podcasting requires great audio, and recently it has demanded a video component to accompany it. Therefore, a podcast will create an ideal situation to test out all of the switcher's bells and whistles. So, without further ado, I'll see you guys over there. Okay, we are here in our podcasting studio in Manhattan, and we have 3 cameras set up and ready to go. We have a wide shot for our studio, medium shots for our host and guest, and as far as audio is concerned, we're using the Rode pod mics that are connected to the RØDECaster via XLR. Meanwhile, I'll be using the Rode Wireless Go 2 in case I need to talk during the show. Now, we won't be live streaming this podcast, but we will be recording it and all of the ISOs going into the unit. In fact, later on in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like when we bring it into editing software. We have 2 displays on set today, one for the talent and one for me. The talent monitor is going to show the program, and my monitor is going to show the multi-view. Now, the multi-view is very detailed. It's going to show me everything that I have coming into the unit and everything going out. Additionally, it's going to give me diagnostics on the stream and the recording, and it'll even show me the scenes that I've created in the Rode Central software in real time, which this being a GPU-based switcher allows that to happen, and I gotta say it's really handy to have on set. Before we get rolling here, I want to go over the inspect button because it's a really unique feature to the RØDECaster video, and it's what sets it apart from other video switchers. The inspect button allows me to get real-time information about all of the inputs I have coming in. It tells me the resolution, the frame rate, and even the color space it's detecting. Also, while in inspect mode, you can assign inputs to different buttons, delete and move scenes, and open the audio mixer for HDMI channels. Now, when you press the inspect button, the switcher is going to go into a sort of safe mode. So if you press any button on the device, it's not going to necessarily affect the program. This will allow you to safely make adjustments to the switcher without having to worry about it affecting your stream. So we have everything ready to go. Let's get talent in here and get rolling.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, welcome back to my podcast where we talk about all things Rode. My name is Riley Elizabeth, and with me today is Zach Young, incredibly world famous writer for B&E.
And we're back. Really quick, I want to show you guys how easy this is to do. If I wanted to play back a video, all I need to do is hit the media playback button and select my video clip. That's going to play out, and then I can switch back to my camera. Now, the switcher also has a picture-in-picture button and is super easy to use as well. When you hit the picture-in-picture button, it's going to ask you which source you want to be in the smaller frame. I'll select camera 1, and then for the larger frame, I'll select camera 2. Then I'll hit the check mark and it's been created. Now I can hold one of the A through G keys to save it to that key. And there we are. Easy picture-in-picture mode without needing to do any heavy lifting, and you can do it even on the fly while streaming or recording. At first glance, the unit is very unintimidating compared to switchers in its class. Rode made a concerted effort to make this unit as easy to use as possible. They've stripped away a lot of the buttons, knobs, and switches that you typically find on a video switcher without stripping away the functionality. Let me explain. Despite not having an overwhelming amount of physical controls for audio, you still get a complete audio mixer on board. The mixer has access to a full suite of effects processing and individual mixes for all outputs. You can dynamically add, remove, and arrange audio channels, and even adjust audio delay to synchronize with the video. When it comes to assets like graphic overlays, sounds, and video files, the system is also very capable. You can load media files like audio clips, videos, and PNGs with transparency onto a micro SD card and access them in your stream via the media playback button and the overlays button. You also get chroma keying and picture-in-picture buttons on the unit. This unit handles these functions in such a streamlined fashion. I'm really impressed. Typically, scenes like these would take a little bit of setup and possibly a third-party compositing software. But with the RØDECaster video, these functions take a couple of seconds and can be done on the fly while streaming. In addition to all of that, you get an extremely detailed multi-view, isolated recordings of each camera input and each audio input, scene building with the Rode Central application, and more. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the chroma keying functionality on the RØDECaster video because it works exceptionally well, and like everything else on the unit, it is very easy to use. I have myself all set up here to do a short software tutorial. I have a green screen behind me, a camera right in front, and on my computer, I have my video editing software all ready to go. And I have loaded in our isolated video files from the podcast we shot just the other day. So let's just jump right into it. First, you're going to select which camera you want to chroma key. In our case, it's going to be camera 1. Then you're going to click the chroma key button, and it's going to ask you whether you want a green or a blue screen. So I'll select green screen, and it's going to chroma key out our green screen. To take this even further, we can use the picture-in-picture mode to lay over this frame on top of our computer screen. So to do that, I'm going to click picture-in-picture. I'll select camera 1 as the smaller frame and camera 2 for the larger frame, which is our computer screen. Then I'll hit the check mark and save that to one of our keys. And there we go. We're all set up to do a quick software tutorial. And while we're here, we could take a look at what isolated files we got from our podcast the other day. In this folder, we'll have all of our audio tracks, and then we'll have all of our video files and a recording of the program. And just to show you how easy it is to use this isolated footage, I'm just going to drag the program down into our timeline here. And I know that I made a mistake in here. I lingered on the host for just a little bit too long, and I want to make that cut happen a little bit sooner. So I'm going to go to that point in the timeline. I'm going to copy that time code, and then I'm going to go find camera 1 in our files, which is our guest, and I'll copy that time code into the source window. Hit enter, and it's going to take me right to that cut point. I'll set an in point there and an out point where he stops talking. And then I'll drag that down into the timeline, right where our playhead is at. And that's going to sync it up with the audio and make that cut happen a lot sooner. And that's chroma keying on the RØDECaster video. Now, you can take this same process to any other content that you might be creating, whether that's business presentations, webinars, video game live streaming, or product demos. It's all very simple to do. On a final note, I was using the Rode Wireless Go 2 microphones throughout this segment because the RØDECaster video has a built-in wireless receiver for these microphones. And that's fantastic because that saves us ports for any other audio source we may want to connect to the unit. Now, it's worth noting that the build quality on the RØDECaster video is exceptional. When you pick this thing up, it's heavy, it's got a metal exterior, and the connections feel strong. Folks who do live events or are constantly moving around with their gear from location to location would all agree that having durable, long-lasting gear takes a mental load off, and Rode did not fall short in this department. Rode has a history of bringing complex hardware to the masses, and they've done it once again with the RØDECaster video. This is an extremely powerful little device loaded with professional features. They've stripped away the steep learning curve video switchers typically come with, yet they maintained a feature set that allows for unbound creativity. I genuinely enjoyed my time with the RØDECaster video, but I want to know what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments below. I'm Peter with B&H, and I'll see you guys next time.